Alright everyone, we start off today with a little bit of a cautionary video. Now, some people were sending me news tips the other day with like missing link media, and by the way, thank you for the news tips. I do appreciate it when people send me stories in. Then I can find things like this and warn people ahead of time. This concept that Hunter Biden's legal team is considering cooperating with an ongoing investigation, Hunter is going to name names, Hunter is going to be indicted. Probably not. This sounds a lot like hopeful cope thinking. This sounds a lot like QAnon stuff. Something that I warned about for years. It was meant to be a distraction from actual issues. Now, am I claiming that the Hunter Biden laptop scandal's a non-issue? No, that's not what I'm claiming. It's a huge issue. The legacy media and big tech colluded to censor people and cover up a major political scandal in order to try to get a dude elected, essentially. Now, of course, you get a situation where members of the government that ended up in that asterisk position owe these groups of people. And there's a lot of tit for tat going on. It's very criminal. It's very sleazy, dishonest. It's bullshit. Hunter Biden broke the law. We know, at the very least, we know that he solicited prostitutes, probably distributed crack, so we know that he committed a number of significant crimes. That being said, the DOJ is headed by people that were put in there by Joe Biden, his dad. Now, one thing. Number one, would Joe Biden want his son prosecuted at all, under any circumstances? Of course not. If he can pull a few switches and shield him from repercussions, of course, most fathers would do that, not just Joe Biden. But even more importantly, if Joe Biden right now, with his approval so deep underwater, any considerable scandal, a revelation that the content of the laptop was real, an indictment of Hunter Biden would cripple his presidency. By proxy, it would also cripple a lot of the WEF-adjacent Great Reset people, like the big tech CEOs that helped to cover up the story and claim it was disinformation. And where have we heard that one before? The legacy media, the corporate media that is suffering a number of scandals and a severe downturn in usefulness now, they would have the same problem, trying to justify why they didn't even bother to investigate, and why they claimed that those that did were lying and that they were just being hyperbolic. NPR, partially taxpayer funded, which it shouldn't be, I guess, by the way, coming out, you'll remember, back when this story first broke and saying, well, the reason that we're not reporting on it is because it's nothing. It's not significant. We don't need to report on it. But you never looked into it to find the significance out. You just assumed that. But it was all to cover for Joe Biden's people. But the fact that this is one of the most major modern political scandals, and it is, not the Hunter Biden doing crack or soliciting whores thing, that nobody gives a shit about that. That's not Joe doing anything. The cover-up. The cover-up is a major scandal. But Hunter Biden is almost assuredly not going to be indicted. You're talking about a gap of 17 months with some of this stuff, when did the prostitution and drug use happen? 3 years ago in some cases, I think. There's statutes of limitations, and there's a limitation on how long the government would wait on such a thing, because evidence can decay. It can also potentially be fiddled with. You got to realize that the Hunter Biden material went through a series of hands, not necessarily the most politically friendly ones. Law enforcement can literally just use the excuse, the evidence is tainted. We don't know what's real here and what's not. They had it for too long. We can't do anything with it. We can't indict. We can't even charge him. That's probable. That's probably what it'll do. Now, would the states or the locals get involved? No. This would involve potentially trafficking, etc., federal crimes. Well, who runs the federal government at the executive level and has deep pockets, deep-pocketed donors with friends in the whole judiciary? Oh, it's Joe Biden. Yeah, Hunter's really going to stop bothering to focus on the distraction stories. This is bullshit. Scandal is important. What you should be doing, if you want to promote any semblance of repercussions for those involved in, again, a monumental political scandal, point out to people, third parties, the evidence, the examples, and there are a million of them, of the legacy media and big tech lying openly and covering up the story for obvious political reasons. With the retrospective that finally a year and a half later, the legacy media acknowledges, whoops, yeah, it was a major story. We've confirmed that it actually is real. We just didn't talk that way at the time, during the election. Oh, what a coincidence. Just happened to line up perfectly. Most people will have cognitive dissonance and they won't admit to the fact that they were wrong. They'll pretend, well, it's not that bad. Hey, just get over it, they'll say. It's long time later. You're being too serious about life, man. Why don't you just drink another shot of fluoride? They'll do the fluoride stare. Hate to use that terminology. Now someone can call me a conspiracy theorist. They'll give you the fluoride stare. But some people will understand. The number of people is slowly changing over time. The number of people that trust in the legacy media is being pissed away very quickly. I think that big tech will suffer the same problem as more and more people understand, hey, there are alternatives that aren't heavily censored and that have better algorithms at this point. The searchability thing on YouTube has really become a problem for a lot of material. Let's put it that way. This idea, though, that Hunter Biden himself will be brought to justice and he'll be exposed. He did things with his cousin, sold crack to people, and Biden knew it, and the big part of it was the business dealing. Of course, that extends to Joe Biden. Was there any closure months ago? Let me ask this before you think there'll be closure on this brand new admission by the New York Times and others. Was there any closure months ago when it was revealed that there were pictures and so forth of Biden at meetings he claimed openly, he professed positively he never attended, along with his son? Business meetings involving some of these foreign actors that his son was working with or for. Was there any further investigation? Was there any closure? No. The legacy media acknowledged that it was real, shoved it to page B, and never spoke of it again. And so the usual gang of idiot voters that still watch CNN and stuff never heard of it. Or they heard of it, but then it was like, hey, but this isn't really major. Oh, yeah, Biden may have told a fib a couple of times about these business dealings. But there was nothing, it wasn't really that bad. Yeah, it's a while ago. It was glossed over. It was hushed up. And this will happen again. You've already seen it. The New York Times admitted that the Hunter Biden laptop thing was actually true. They never acknowledged or apologized for the fact that they lied about it for so long. None of the other legacy networks, most of them haven't even covered it. Well, their audience is still ignorant of the fact that they were lied to by those legacy networks. The way to get closure is not going to come from the top down. The legal system is going to fail you on this issue. Biden will not be investigated for lying to the American public, nor for potentially illegal business dealings and quid pro quo meetings with foreign dignitaries while he was vice president, brokered by his son. You will not see Joe Biden face repercussions. You almost certainly will not see Hunter face repercussions. Other people that help cover it up won't face repercussions. The only repercussion can be that we cripple the support for these different groups by making people aware in a very grassroots manner they're all a bunch of fucking liars and crooks. That's about all. Peace out.